What's up, everyone, and welcome today. This video is going to be a little bit different than what I usually do, so make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe buttons because today we are about to head into some pretty deep water. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be diving into YouTube guidelines, and we're going to go through the list of what YouTube expects from creators like us to do and not put on our YouTube channel. So let's go into it today. How much do you agree or disagree that the information on this website has affected your opinion on YouTube? I do not care. Okay, so YouTube has always held a set of community guidelines that outline what type of content isn't allowed on YouTube. Okay, so basically pretty simple. So we can go to fake engagement, child safety, thumbnails, nudity, and sexual content. Let's go to let's go to violent or graphic content. Aha, now we got a video to watch. Let's take a watch it and see what YouTube is actually telling its creators what they can do and what they can't do.
True or false? Footage, audio, or imagery featuring natural disaster aftermath or medical procedures are never allowed on YouTube.
Sure.
The answer is false. If enough context is provided along with violent or gory content, we may apply an age restriction rather than remove the video completely. However, violent or gory content intended only to shock or disgust viewers, or content encouraging others to commit violent acts, is not allowed on YouTube. Let's take a look at some examples.
Yeah, let's take a look.
A creator uploads a compilation video of car accident clips that feature violent and gory images. In another video, a creator uploads live footage of professional boxers in an arena with referees and an audience. Do either of these videos violate our community guidelines? Yes, the first video violates our violence policy because it...
Okay, that makes sense, but... Okay, I guess I keep watching.
Does not provide proper context for the clips. Remember, if you believe anyone is in imminent danger, you should reach out to your local law enforcement to report the situation immediately.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go and call the cops for watching a awful YouTube video that I feel like is putting people in danger.
But what about uploading violent imagery or audio that has been blurred, masked, or obscured? Is that okay? For a list of what we consider when determining whether to age restrict or remove content, and to learn more about our policies around violent content, go to the YouTube Help Center article. Click here.
All right, so we're going to do that. If you're posting content, don't post content on YouTube if it fits any of the descriptions noted below. Inciting others to commit violent acts against individuals or defined group of people. I'm assuming if this is a racist intent or just saying go out and hunt people of the different race, fights involving minors. Now, when this is said, is this showing that if we post a video of two people fighting, like in the first video, of them fighting each other, would that be considered copyright? I don't know, but. And then footage or imagery showing bodily fluid such as blood or vomit with the intent to shock or disgust viewers. Okay, that makes sense. Animal abuse content, that's pretty simple. Basically, everything else on here seems to be. So this wasn't really what I was wanting to go for. What I was really wanting to go for was let's see, which one is it? Vulgar language. Yes, this one is right here. Okay, this is the new thing that YouTube is implying that if you don't do. So some language may not be appropriate for viewers under 18. If you find content that violates this policy, report it. Okay, there's a thing. If your content violates these policies, remove the content, send you an email to let you know if this first violating our community guidelines. Use of sexual explicit language or narratives, use of excessive profanity in the content. Okay, so are you saying people can't curse now on your website? People just can't use excessive language. There's been many people, if it's meant for an adult audience, I don't get why they are implying that you can't use excessive language. Like, what does this become? There's a kids YouTube and then there's an adult YouTube, and I assume that if you're wanting to watch an adult person play games or watch an adult person talk about something, how in the world is that against the guidelines? And right here it says use of excessive sexual sounds. This is what's now being put on YouTube. This is what's now being said you can't do. You can't have an actual social media website, YouTube now. YouTube is now making it to where if content creators put anything on YouTube that has filing any of these policies, and they just keep adding the list of things and things that you can and cannot do. I understand if you put something out of someone getting decapitated, someone getting dismembered, something to shock people. But if you're putting stuff out that's literally just you cursing or just going, yeah, like some moaning or something like that, like it doesn't make sense. If YouTube wants to actually keep their guidelines good and wants to keep things nice and good for their YouTube channel and wants to keep the creators on there, they need to stop adding so many guidelines to it. It's getting ridiculous now. YouTube needs to understand that there are people in this world who are going to put content out that's not going to always be the most child friendly, maybe has a little bit of language in it, and heck, maybe it talks about some sexual stuff. Why is that any of YouTube's business? Unless it's not putting explicit nudity out there. I mean, what do you think high school is? In most high schools, all this stuff is already being shown, so people are basically used to it. So when they come to YouTube and they want to watch someone joke around or something like that, that is up to the viewer. Unless they are putting explicit nudity, explicit like pornography on YouTube, or showing anything crazy that basically nobody should watch, or putting child pornography out, that would make sense for a guideline. But this is ridiculous. This right here is almost like it's a joke now, that the use of excessive sexual sounds, the use of heavy profanity or sexual suggestive terms in the content's title, thumbnail, or associated metadata, and then use of excessive profanity in this content. And down here it says, this policy applies to videos, video descriptions, comments, live streams, and audio, and any other YouTube product or feature. Remember, these are just some examples, and don't post content if you think it might violate this policy. What you're telling me right now, and what you're telling me, is that you cannot put anything on YouTube that violates these policies. But the policies that you're giving me and the policies you're giving other creators is so broad, it's almost like you will almost make a mistake. Because how are you supposed to know? Because this could be taken for many things, but people are still at the point now where people are still coming out against YouTube. Look it up. People are all over YouTube making fun of the guidelines. And YouTube used to be a place of where you could go and watch a YouTube video and you wouldn't have to worry about the excessive guidelines, violations, and all this stuff. It's just getting ridiculous. And before I end today's video, I want to go into one more thing I was looking at on here. Let's see. Yes, hate speech. This right here is what killed me, was listening to the hate speech. Now, I would say my opinion, but I'm going to try to keep this as unbiased as possible. Well, let's watch the video, shall we? We'll try to zoom it in and tap it for you all.
True or false? If you make a video that compares people to animals or bugs because of their race or nationality, that could result in a strike on your channel. The answer is true.
Oh my God.
Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube.
Yeah.
We remove content promoting violence or hatred against members of protected groups, including but not limited to race, gender, sexual orientation, or religious affiliation.
Yes, but at the same time, it's okay for people to use language and say, I don't know, the GD word, use the R word. Is that considered against people with different groups? Is it okay to say the F word related toward people that may identify as a gender? Is that okay? I don't know, but it seems like I've watched a lot of YouTube, and it seems like people still make fun about these people, and sometimes I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
We may allow content that includes hate speech, like news coverage of world events. If
False. Absolutely false. You can see with, I don't know, let's take Ben Shapiro, for example, a Republican conservative public speaker in the Daily Wire. They are still being prohibited from watching anything. People in the algorithm are taking them out. So basically, this is false. This is absolutely false. You can look it up. If you look up Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro, you will probably see 3 videos on the top. That's it. And the rest are just absolute CNN, Fox News, all sorts of stuff like that. This is absolutely false, and what they're telling you here is absolutely false. You can do it for yourself. As a matter of fact, I mean, let's take a look. Alrighty, let's use this. We're gonna go into a private thing, and we're gonna look up YouTube. Alright, now we're gonna look up Ben Shapiro, and I just want to show you this. This is what they're doing to people. Oh shoot, this is on the wrong thing. Okay. Just a moment. All right, we can already see when we go back into the Ben Shapiro thing, I already had it pulled up right here. We can see that there is an ad, right, of Shapiro, and then we have his actual site. So we got 1, 2, and then the videos stop here. That's what I'm talking about. They stop here, and you go down, they keep going, and then you got a third video, fourth, but then basically just videos relating to him, but they're not from his actual website. Now let's take someone example. Let's take a leftist news source, H3H3, okay? This right here is the H3 podcast. If we go down, we can see that the H3 podcast has their videos, the H3 crew, H3 podcast, Fake Nation. All these videos are targeted toward his podcast. Let's go to a different person. Let's look at the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is the person that owns with Ben Shapiro. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we see Ben Shapiro, of course. And then all these videos down here are related to them. But people like Ben Shapiro are being silenced on YouTube due to their controversy. Now let's take another example. Let's look at Markiplier. Markiplier. That's Mark Goldberg. We don't care about that. Let's look at Markiplier. Let's see what his videos are. Let's see if we can see anything. So as we can go down, we can see that there is no other videos on here other than Markiplier toward him. We can see this one video right here, but that's a meme about him. Basically, just Markiplier. Okay, and now let's go back to our YouTube video. Let's see what we're being suggested. Basically, just random stuff. And we're not seeing anything related to what we just looked up other than Markiplier. No Ben Shapiro. I've not seen one Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro thing on here. Let's scroll down just a tad bit more and stuff like that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if this proves to you that YouTube is actually not doing well with their guidelines and actually saying on their guidelines that they are making the platform better, if this shows you anything, that number one, the excessive language, that number two, the hate speech, all this stuff like that, YouTube is silencing their creators on here, and they are biased. They are biased towards certain people, and this is not how to run your YouTube social media website. And I'm not going to sit here and act like everything's amazing, because we can already tell basically that this is YouTube. This is what people are watching. It has over 1 billion users. We have to use YouTube, and we have to speak out against this, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It does. I hope you all enjoyed this video today, and hopefully have learned a little bit more about the YouTube guidelines and how YouTube is doing absolutely terrible with it. Thank you all. Have a great day.